the time being by the great folks at Zephyr Epic.
Oh, yeah. The good folks over there.
You want to open a pack?
Yeah. What do I got here? First of all, before we get to that, look at the mountains. Okay. Come on. If you're on YouTube, just the snow-tipped, beautiful mountains. It's gorgeous out there. I tell you, it's a beautiful day. Just the right amount of snow last night to make the mountains beautiful.
Our colleagues, Nick Alberga, Jay Rose.
Oh, we'll get to them.
Well, in Toronto, they're complaining about snow. Edmonton, no surprise, they're complaining about snow too. You look here, snow's only on top of the mountains here.
Listen, I'm not complaining about any of the snow we got going on here.
Although it's supposed to snow 5 centimeters on Friday. Or Saturday, Sunday, I believe.
There's a Sky Train too on YouTube. Look at that. Perfect timing.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's supposed to be some snow. So this city will shut down. Thankfully, it's on a weekend. That's true. So we'll be okay. But, promo code hockey season, capital H, capital S, over at Zephyr Epic.
I got a pack of CHL. This is I tell you, I'm searching for a Connor Bedard rookie. I'm going to rip right through it real quick. There I am. Look at that. I'm going to rip right through it. You can talk about do the promo codes again.
They have got you covered for all of your trading card needs. Be sure to go check them out online. ZEPHYR epic.com. That is also on all platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. They've got giveaways. They've got a lot of stuff to kind of have you covered for all of your trading card needs. You pull anything nice?
Yep.
What'd you get? He said it was nice, folks. Why are you even flipping through the base cards? What's the nice one?
Well, maybe there's a Connor Bedard. Brandon Yager. Tell you what, he's going to go high in the draft.
Oh, okay. That's a good card.
Oh, look at that, eh?
Braden Yager.
Yep.
You called him Brandon.
Well, the why it's a weird font on these cards. I was gonna say I knew it's Braden Yager. I know this guy. Plays for the Warriors, Moose Jaw Warriors, I think.
As you look at his hockey card, that says as much.
I'll double check here.
All right, let's get on with it. My name is Dave Quadrelli. Yep. I'm joined as always by the man who built the place, Chris Faber. Our technical producer today is Alex Allard, and of course, this is the Canucks Conversation podcast. Chris,
yep.
Where should we start today? Canucks in action tonight. Recording this on Thursday, February 23rd. Canucks are in action tonight against St. Louis Blues. 5 o'clock puck drop tonight.
Oh yeah, 5 o'clock puck drop tonight. I went out to a comedy show last night. My first ever comedy show. Took the Sky Train. Was wearing a toque, one of those long coats. I looked like a real Vancouverite last night. Went to a comedy show last night.
What was your experience? Is that your first time on the Sky Train?
No.
I just point out we've had a couple comedy shows. You've done a couple comedy shows.
Well, the first 5 minutes sometimes you'd say it could be a comedy show on accident here.
So
the quads, I tell you, if I brought quads to that show yesterday, like 4 minutes in, he'd be like, "Let's get out of here. Let's go do something about hockey."
Why? I love comedy
That's
shows.
what I'm saying. The top of the show here. This show's a comedy show sometimes too, and you're speeding right through it.
Yeah, that went right over my head.
Yeah, that's fine.
I find it fascinating.
A Yankees toque.
The different trains. I find it fascinating. You know, like the new trains, the old ones that I've seen people, myself included, sometimes just wait for the next one because they're so dingy. These Sky Trains. Did you ride one of the nice ones?
Couldn't tell you.
I'll tell you as it goes by. I'll tell you what a nice.
Had
one
a medical
is.
Emergency on the Sky Train on the way back.
Oh no.
Yep.
You did?
No, not me.
Oh, okay.
Guy in the corner, he's passed out there. Had brought the transit folks on. They got an ambulance down at the end there.
Jeez.
But I didn't laugh once at the comedy show.
I thought you meant at the guy.
I didn't. Don't make me look like a bad. No, I didn't laugh once out loud at the comedy show, but I smiled quite often.
Yeah.
I smiled quite often. A lot of people really, I don't laugh a lot.
No, you don't.
No, I smile a lot and I have a good time a lot.
Sorry, was the guy okay? I'm really curious about the medical emergency now. Do you know any update? Nothing?
He had a pulse.
Yeah,
he was out in the corner there.
Okay. Hopefully
I hope he's all good. He had a pulse.
Okay. Hopefully he's okay.
So the guy, so I went to the comedy show last night. The Rio Theater. You ever been to this place?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool little spot. Nice little theater. They got a balcony up there. Enjoyed my comedy show there. It was good show. It was a guy who's a podcaster doing stand-up. Any thoughts behind you going down that route, doing a little stand-up?
The two of us. You know, what's that guy's name? Jeff Ross. And who's the guy? They do roast battles or whatever?
Jeff Ross.
Yeah, but who's the other guy? He does it with someone.
Couldn't tell you. The only guy
said the name I knew.
Jeff Ross is the guy who does all the roasts.
Are you talking about Kill Tony?
Sounds right. I genuinely don't know.
Could be. Comedy Central, they're the ones with all the roasts. Yeah.
Thank you.
Jeff Ross, he always shows up. That's all he does, right?
He does stand up, but yeah, roasting is kind of his thing. Okay, enough here. Let's get moving.
Well, no, I'm in a good mood today, and there's one reason why. The chat's gonna kill me. I'm back on them. Back on the energy drinks. So I'm feeling good. Listen, the other day I had one for the first time in 12 days. You know how much work I got done? You know this.
I heard you say this on Halford and Bruff, and you said, yeah, maybe it's not the best for your health or whatever, but at least I got a bunch of work done.
Yep. I just, the other day, what have I done in the last 48 hours? Probably watched 30 hockey games.
You got to get on a regular
30 hockey games.
You got to get on a regular sleep schedule. You got to start working out. Last night I was out at
12:45. I'm out.
Okay. Anyways, can we move on here? Nathan makes a great point in the chat. Nathan said, "Is this a sports show?" ? I'd like to know myself, Nathan. Can we get moving here? Unhitch the trailer. Here we go.
Put my mic down.
You don't need to put your mic down. I need you to do the show. We're going to talk Vancouver Canucks. Aatu Räty.
No, let's start with the jerseys.
Which jerseys? Oh, yes. Okay, sure.
Jeez,
I'm actually okay with this. Let's start with this. The Vancouver Canucks unveiling their First Nation celebration jersey designed by Jay Ojic, who is the cousin of the late and great Gino Ojic. For those of you on the YouTube, you see there Ethan Bear modeling it. I got to be honest with you. I really liked the Chinese New Year one they did. I like this one more. Like I think
this
is... and the reason I compare the two is because both are a take on the skate logo, right? I like this one better.
This jersey is tremendous. This might be the best one that I've seen. Like, because they do all these, all the special nights and stuff. This one, and I got the Lunar New Year one, the Year of the Rat, my Louis Eriksson jersey.
Yes,
that's a great one to have. But I tell you, this thing, the only thing about this jersey that I don't like is that Canucks fans that want one have to pay $750 for this thing. Okay, this is the one that I haven't bought one of the t-shirts yet. This is the one I'd like. This thing is gorgeous. I love the look of it. The colors look amazing. The logo, just such a perfect job of transitioning the Canucks flying skate into that. Is it an eagle looking down? It's some sort of bird, right? Like flying down. Is that what I see? Or like a hawk type of thing? We see them outside the window here all the time. Outside
Raven, maybe. We've seen ravens.
Yeah, could be that. But I tell you,
how he's going to name birds? We should probably know what it is. Like we could probably find out very easily if we just text someone. Anyways, so I like the jersey.
Here's my
They're
question.
They're going to be wearing it on March 2nd for warm up.
The NHL is the NHL the reason why they can't wear this just in a game? Like, why can't they wear that in a game? It's gorgeous.
I absolutely agree with you.
They 100% have, like, the jerseys they're wearing in warm up aren't made of like paper. Like, they're legit jerseys.
They sell for $750.
I mean, that's crazy. But why not let them wear these things? Like the NBA, do you know how I think the NBA works like this? And I stand to be corrected. But the NBA, the more playoff rounds you win, the more jerseys you can unlock for the next season to wear. I think that's how it works.
No way, is it really?
Yeah, I think it's a way of like the more playoff series, or maybe I think that's what it is. The more playoff series you win, like the teams that have won a lot, like you see how many different jerseys do you see the Golden State Warriors wearing? Like they got 18 different jerseys,
that
right?
Might actually incentivize the Canucks to build a playoff winner because they love their jerseys.
Well, that's the thing. But even at the same time, let them wear that. Like wear it during the game. It'd be beautiful. Sean says Thunderbird, maybe. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Got the lightning bolts in there. Thank you, Sean. Anyways, $750. It's too bad. But they'll have t-shirts, and the hoodies are $150 on their own too, though.
The t-shirt's like $35.
It's the t-shirt for $30.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what?
Let's not get into this.
The problem with t-shirts is, like, back in the day, listen, I'd go down to the States, I'd hit Zoomies up on before I go preschool shopping. I'd be picking up t-shirts, $7.
Preschool shopping.
Yeah, before school. School supply shopping, right? What's it called?
Not preschool shopping.
No, I was doing it before preschool too, man. Don't worry about that. I was going before school in the summertime down to the outlet malls down there in Seattle. Lisa knows what I'm talking about. The outlet malls down there. It's $7 a shirt. You go down there now, cheapest shirt you're getting is $24. Yeah. That's American. That's $40 Canadian. T-shirts are expensive now.
T-shirts are expensive now. Throw that on a graphic.
All right, let's go. Ratty time.
Okay, Aatu Räty gets the call up from Abbotsford. Comes as a bit of a surprise for a few people. Phil DiGiuseppe gets sent down. He is the odd man out. that had more to do with waivers. If he played one more game, he would have required waivers. They want him to be eligible to play in the AHL. Let's not read into that too much. Tocchet kind of talked about that today. Said I kind of see both sides of it, where he likes the player, but he understands that he'd like to have the player around. He really likes DiGiuseppe.
He kind of talked about it today in the media availability of like DiGiuseppe has been the guy buying in, right? Really buying into. We were joking about it before the show started. The new Little Things. Phil DiGiuseppe, your guy.
Yeah, it got called Little Things, Phil.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aatu Räty, does it surprise you at all that he's the one that gets a call up? We've talked about this a little bit, and you had an interesting chat with him on Monday,
a couple days ago.
So talk about that, because you mentioned it in your Donnie and Dolly hit. Nice job on that, by the way. You kind of mentioned that life has been hard for him since coming to Abbotsford and just the Canucks organization as a whole.
Yeah. Let's pull this up. Actually, I went up with Tomi Koivunen, my pal. I've talked about Tomi on the show before. He had about a 15-minute chat with Aatu Räty. Can I pull this finish word up here? This is great. This is finish word. So it's been a struggle for Aatu Räty in Abbotsford just to adjust to everything, and he used this word. And I was going through it in the. I read Tomi's article where Räty was talking about how difficult it's been. A lot of things. This word here is what he used, and I had to look it up. I had to ask Tomi for the definition of it. This is the definition: hotelikuloma, hotelikulema, boredom caused by an extended stay in a hotel. Because that's what he's sitting in right now out in Abbotsford. He's on the road, obviously, with the Vancouver Canucks now. But before, you're just living in a hotel. You're going to the mall. You're not eating the best food. It was difficult. This is what I've been talking about for the last little bit. Read through the article of Tomi the other day, and here's a quote from Räty from his article. Says he hasn't been able to find that many friends yet on the team. He said all the guys in the room are really nice, but it takes a little bit longer with some of the foreigners. Doesn't have a Finnish guy to kind of, introduce him to the group of guys and be able to do stuff away from the rink. He's got his girlfriend over there. They're playing a lot of golf. That's all great. That's good stuff. But you got to have some friends. And he said, like, all the guys have been good to him. I think this move up to the NHL, it doesn't surprise me, because I really think a lot of it is just for him to be in a better spot mentally about the organization. That's what I think this is. Could Räty be up here for, until Saturday and then go back down to Abbotsford? Wouldn't shock me at all. He might play this game and be back in the AHL after. Like, it wouldn't shock me at all. I think this is just a little boost for him. We'll see what happens. He's going to play left wing tonight. He's playing on let's get the lines up there now.
I actually kind of deceived you a little bit.
Okay.
Because I sent you those lines from our source, but my source actually texted me after that, and I didn't get this to you, and I feel bad about it.
Yep.
He said, looks like Räty is going to
Räty. No, okay. We'll start
is going to center that line
really?
with Sheldon, Dries, and Vasily Podkolzin.
Okay, well, now we got the graphic up there.
It doesn't matter. You're right. Like, Sheldon, Dries, Vasily Podkolzin, that's going to be the line.
I wanted to see him play center. He should be playing center.
And Brock Besser back in the top six.
That's right. Brock Besser back there with Connor Garland, JT Miller. You can keep that Pettersson line together. That's the thing. When I saw that Räty was on the wing, so this changed my thought process a little bit on it. I want him to play center. I want him to be in that 3C role, because that's where I think the Canucks hope that he projects into, right? He should be the third guy behind Miller and Pettersson. This is a high-level prospect. This is a 20-year-old kid who's already had a little bit of success in the NHL, had a decent amount of success in the AHL before he came to Abbotsford. But you want him to be a center. You kind of need him to be a center to make that trade work with the Bo Horvat return, because, the first-round pick is going to be great. I still think it's just going to – I don't think it's it would be great if it was an unprotected pick going into next year. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Islanders are they're playing some pretty good hockey right now. Bo Horvat's carrying that team. See the assist last night in the game winner? Oh, Horvat's looking good in number 14 over there with the Islanders. I think the Canucks are going to end up picking like 15th, 16th in this year's draft, which is fine. Like, it's totally fine. But then you really want to have, I don't want to say more pressure, but more put onto Räty's plate of like, okay, well, let's make him the 3C moving forward. He's got all these offensive skills and a lot of potential to see what he can do. How do you round out his game? It's interesting to get him to the NHL. I guess they're just making a look, having a good look at this kid right now to see what happens moving forward with him. But expect tonight to see a player with really good hands, a good shot, but keep an eye on him in the pace. Okay. Like, that's the thing with him and his pace. I've been really impressed at times. I'm like, wow, he has some good full speed. Like, I wish there was a better way for me to explain this, because I say this all the time. Like, it's not about the top speed that he gets to. It's almost like when you're playing those racing car games and your top speed is like 5 stars out of 5 stars. And then there's like acceleration and handling. his acceleration and handling are the things that's lacking. When he gets up to full speed and he's flying down the ice, good pace. But the acceleration and the handling that he has, it's not as great as what you kind of hope for from this kid. So I think that's something that you can work on, right? Like, this is what a skating coach can do for you. This is what you would like to see him do as he improves and really focuses on some things. You want him to be a guy that you can trust to not only play good offensively or defensively, but be able to keep up with the pace of play in the NHL. It's going to be a massive jump. And I've heard a lot of people out there say, oh, like his game translates better to the NHL because there's more structure, there's more this and more that. I get it, but you're going to have to see him still develop. Like, you don't just put him in the NHL now and it's like, well, he looks better here. Like, let's keep him here and just roll with it.
Do you remember when Jim Benning said that about Ollie Levy? That's a throwback.
Yeah, well,
Finnish prospect. He said, well, actually, I think he's going to be better in the NHL because there's more structure here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure that was the exact quote.
No, I think you're right.
From Jim Benning at the time about Ollie Levy. Sorry to cut you off. Continue.
No, and I mean, you might see that. Like, he told me on Monday he's been playing horrible in the AHL, and he wasn't great. He might have a good jump here and kind of a nice boost being in the NHL. I just don't think it's the best spot right now. He's 20, okay? He's 20 years old. He's got so much room to grow. He's got such potential. I really like the prospect. I think the development is better for him in the AHL right now to work on things, but I think right now, like today's present day, maybe it is okay to have him in the NHL, right? Because things weren't going great for him in the A. Maybe this gives him a little boost, helps him later on when they actually hit the AHL playoffs and that kind of stretch run where the games, listen, man, a month from now, the games in the AHL are going to be more important than the NHL when it comes to wins, right? You're going to want to have home ice advantage throughout the AHL playoffs. You want that 3-game play-in series, which is just ridiculous in the AHL. In the Pacific Division, it's so weird. But you want to host that. Like, you want to be hosting those 3 games, and you want to be playing good hockey at home with a roster that you think. And this is why you can see a focus from management. They don't want to lose Phil DiGiuseppe. They want him down there for that AHL run. They're going to still have the option to put Podkolzin down there. They're keeping Jack Rathbone to really figure out his game. We'll get to that part now because Guillaume Brisebois is the other name that got called up. How surprised were you when you found out that it was Brisebois coming up here?
I was more surprised to see that Brisebois is like the 4th longest tenured Canuck.
He's the number 1.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
No, Elias Pettersson has been here longer.
No, Brisebois has been in the organization longer.
Oh, been in the, yes. Well,
Yeah.
Brock Besser was drafted a round before him, so that's wrong.
Okay. By minutes, I think. Are
But
you sure he wasn't the year before?
No, it was the round after Besser,
Mm.
or 2 rounds after Besser,
Right,
because it was 2015 entry draft for Breezer.
Okay.
The
Razor, eh? You're buddies with him?
That's what we call him. Me and his boys. That's what we call him.
Boys.
That's right. But no, in all seriousness, I was actually very shocked. Like, his first season was 2018-19, same season as Pettersson.
And
Besser made his debut before that.
You know, he's a great just AHL veteran defenseman, right? Like, this is a guy that you like to have around the AHL, but we'll see what happens. And I tell you what, these guys that are getting called up and put into a spot where they play with Tyler Myers, we saw what Myers did last game with Riley Stillman as his partner. And I tell you what, this is a tough spot to be in for Brisebois.
Well, Lennon made Myers look okay. And I'll tell you what, Chris.
But he didn't play that much with Myers.
No, you're right. Yeah,
he
he
looked
did.
good with Luke Shen.
No, he actually played more minutes with Myers than Stillman did. Stillman and Myers did
Really, the
5
other
minutes
day?
together.
Hmm.
Well, Lennon and Myers had 9 minutes together. I was stunned to read that, Chris, because the only thing I can remember is those god-awful 5 minutes of Myers and Stillman, where Myers, in all seriousness, played, I would say, the worst game I've ever seen him play in a Canucks uniform. But aside from that, back to Breezer, the real matter at hand here. That's what he goes by. That's his Instagram handle. You got to get on the Instagram, bud.
I'm on the Instagram there. I put up a story and stuff.
Brisebois what does he have, 1 game this year in the NHL?
Yeah, he's got 1 game this year.
He was good. He was good in that game. I did Sanchi's that night, and I very clearly remember looking at him saying, hey, that was like a pretty good game. And Bruce Boudreau, same thing afterwards, said, that was a good game by him. And then
Yeah,
Stillman's in the lineup the next game. I don't think it's going to be that way anymore. And Talkett spoke today, as we continue to quickly preview the game here. Talkett spoke today, and he said, I hate to say it, but this is almost like an extended training camp.
Yeah.
When he was asked by Sportsnet's Ian McIntyre about getting a look at these guys at the NHL level, if the end of the season is a good chance for him to see what he has in certain players in these AHL call-ups. And that's the subject of our Atlas Goods poll question. Do you have anything else before I get to that?
Yeah, we want to get to the somebody asked about Jack Rathbone. Listen, I think he's got to work on his game a little bit more. He's not Because of the injury coming back, he's still rusty. Okay, he's gonna take a little bit more time. Keep playing him in the AHL. Keep getting him top minutes. Now that Wolanin's gone, Rathbone's getting all those minutes. He's getting the time on the first power play unit. You like that stuff for Jack Rathbone right now, but that didn't surprise me that he didn't get the call up. I was a little surprised it was Brisebois, not Juleson, because I thought Juleson would come up with Luke Shen being, back here in Vancouver and looking like he might need a right shot guy. But Brisebois, you can play the right side too. Keep that in note here if we see moving forward. Let's get the Luke Shen update actually from these guys. They got this small little YouTube channel over there, the Leafs Network.
Leafs Nation.
No, I don't even know. Those guys over there, they got this little channel that not many subscribers and stuff. But Luke Shen update. Let's hear
from Jay Rosell, who's a friend of Luke Shen's. Luke's been on the show before.
Yep.
This is what Jay had to say about Shen when asked by Nick Alberga.
Your guy Luke Shen, is there an update on that front? He's just wasting away on the couch right now, or what?
He's basically helping his wife pack. They are due in about a week and a half with their third kid, and it is a cluster of a cluster, in his life right now, trying to figure out where he's going, if he's going, packing, where they're going to live. Is she able to fly anywhere? You're going to have to sort out private jets just to get his family there, since she's not allowed to fly, or else risk very much so not seeing the birth of your child, which is basically not really an option for him. He's a big time family man, so it's a mess out there.
Okay, I'm sorry it cut out there. I don't know. I was gonna wonder.
That's my bad.
No, it's not your bad. That was the clip that they posted.
That's what I'm saying.
Clip they posted cut out. But anyways, quickly here.
These big Toronto media guys.
Jay brought up the private jet aspect of it. I think if the Canucks trade him, and it looks like that's gonna happen, I think they should be the ones to send that private jet. It shouldn't be out of pocket for Shen.
Yeah, listen, I'm not a big smart man when it comes to
I think that's a classy
so
move.
I don't know but I don't even know about flying when you're that close to giving birth.
No, exactly.
You don't want to be in the what do they call it, the Mile High Club giving birth. It's the opposite. You pop a baby out.
It's still the family, right? Like I think the insinuation here is, could be after the birth, right? Like Luke's going to be there for the birth. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, how's he going to get moving? But then again, if that's the case, he'll be on a new team. And I hope that the team then pays for his family.
Yeah, crazy little, just a wild situation.
It is.
I mean, to be due on the trade deadline in a UFA year, like just a tough spot. But like Jay said there, family man, he's got to be there for his wife. Good stuff. You like to see that.
Okay.
Final thing before we get to the poll.
I have a quick thing before the poll.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So I wasn't on the show.
We might be on the same thing here.
I wasn't on the show on Wednesday. Harmon was here yesterday. I didn't get a chance to say this, but how concerning is it that the Canucks are like an objectively better team when OEL and Myers are nowhere near this team? Like that's scary. Like Christian Wolanin,
$13 million,
looked absolutely fine. I'm actually convinced.
How long I've been saying that Wolanin's an NHL? I've been saying it.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm talking about Guillaume Brisebois now. I'm convinced
he might not be one.
Putting Brisebois on the right side, you'd have similar, if not better, results as what Myers gave you in the last game. Now, I'm a Myers truther, right?
Yeah, you are.
Myers at his best is obviously better than Guillaume Brisebois.
Turn it on your own here.
But no, I'm pumping up Breezer, my other guy. That being said, Chris, it's very concerning, especially with OEL. Like OEL's out of the lineup. They call up the guy from the AHL and Christian Wolanin, and they look like a better team. And they can't send OEL down. That's not an option. He's got a no move clause. It's just, and again, I know I'm stating the obvious. I just didn't get a chance to say it on Wednesday, so I absolutely had to get that in.
Yeah, well, he's scooting around on his scooter now, OEL, so he's not coming back anytime soon here.
No. And Lazar, same thing, not on the trip.
Yeah, Lazar. He'll be, but they're back here on Saturday, right? Yeah. Boston?
Yes. That should be a great game.
Should be a what?
Boston, I think I heard this on the Merrick show. Boston has not, or once, they've either done it never or once this season have they lost in regulation after leading after the first period. They've not blown a lead and lost in regulation.
They got like three losses all year.
Yeah, exactly. That team's insanely good.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with the Bruins. Like, could they get ultra aggressive and go after one of the big, like if they go after one of these, I don't know what their cap situation is, but I think they have, is it Craig Smith, I believe, is making like $4 million or $3 million something.
Yeah.
He's kind of in that range of a player coming back, make some money for this group. I tell you, that Boston team, if they can add anything in that, and the thing that they add fits, I mean, what are the odds? Give me the Betway odds on that. As soon as the deadline's over, that'll be our bets of the day here.
Give me Craig Smith and Mike Riley Mike Riley's contract and Craig Smith together and throw in a first-round pick. Like that's and Noah Strang over at Canucks Army wrote a really good article about this today because we saw yesterday. We didn't really break it down or anything, but the Chicago and Ottawa trade that was made yesterday, the Blackhawks basically buying draft capital. Noah looking at some situations where the Canucks could do something similar. That's over at CanucksArmy.com. We're not going to dive into it right now, but one of the players on that list, Chris, Craig Smith.
Should be.
And throw in Mike Riley too. Like figure it out. You could make this work. Anyways,
get all that cap space, put it into something, throw it against the wall, bounce back with a first round pick, laughing about it, or at least the value of get some seconds, get some thirds, get involved. Okay.
Poll question.
You get no, not yet, because I thought here's the thing. You come in here and you're like, oh, there's something I gotta get this in. I gotta get this in before we get to the poll question. Not even talking about Archer Seeloff's getting his third career start tonight. It looks like too.
Yeah.
You don't care.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know. What's the problem? Now that he's in the NHL, you don't like him anymore?
I like him.
You don't like him anymore now.
I think I've said more than enough about Seelovs over the past week.
He's getting his third start. It's a big deal.
It's not a big deal. It doesn't surprise me. He should be splitting starts down the stretch.
Third start's a big deal. Third date's a big deal. 3 days without energy drinks, that's a big deal. Third start, apparently, throw it out the window. You don't give a damn.
Okay. Our poll question.
Let's get to it. Yeah, there it is. I didn't know Alex had the arty party music back there.
He's ready to go at all times. Okay, our poll question today. Bring it up, Alex. Brought to you by the great folks.
He's having a party over there.
Brought to you by the great folks over at Atlas Goods. Go to atlasgds.com. Use promo code CC15 for 15% off your first order of pop rinds.
Hold on.
These
Talk
are the
about
best
the pop
fresh
rinds.
pork rinds.
I know.
Straight from your microwave
Your script.
or air fryer. It's not a script. It's all off the top of my head.
What are you pulling up there then?
It's off the top of my head. That's not even in the tweet. You wrote the tweet. You don't even remember what you write. It is the perfect zero carb
Look
snack.
at them. Hold on. Stop right there, Alex. Look at that bowl of them. That, first of all, that's what you put them in one of those clear bowls. Look gorgeous. But you know what's missing in this photo? It's the seasoning. You put a little bit of seasoning on top, just the right amount. Some people have been telling me you just do a little salt on it, and that's all you need. They're delicious. High protein. Some other stuff too in there. High protein though for those things, and local. You support local here. Good folks down there out in Surrey, right?
Yes.
Boom. One bag, 30 cups of pop rinds. Look at them. Bacon flavor, original flavor. Check them out. Just give it a go. Because here, I've said this enough, but the only pork rinds you see in the out in the market in the stores is that dirty old yellow bag of them. And you know what I'm talking about. You've seen them at the grocery store, the gas stations. Those things suck. You do these ones, you do these pop rinds, you put them fresh in the air fryer, a little bit of spray on there, canola oil, microwave even. These are 100 times better than that crap in the bag at the grocery stores.
And people always say this. They're like,
oh, what's
pork rinds are gross or whatever, right? They're like, oh, I would never.
It's because they've only had those crappy bags.
Here's the thing. Anybody that has tried these,
oh, I know.
We've never heard anybody say, hey, I bought them off your recommendation, and you're right, they suck. We've actually had more people, since we've had zero of those, we've had way more people reach out and say, you know what, I tried them off your recommendation, and they were actually a lot different than what I was expecting.
People are blown away by the pork rinds. We don't.
They're warm. I like them warm, personally. Okay, we're spending too much time on this. AtlasGDS.com. Our poll question today. Which of these three AHLers would you like to see get 3 to 7 games in the NHL this season? Linus Karlsson, Danilo Klimovich, Arshdeep Bains, and as always, I'm angry.
I'm going to set Alex up here because Alex is about to vote, and we know Alex is a man of the people. I'm going to bet that Alex picks the right one here. Go ahead, Alex. What do you got? Because so that's the thing. Alex is in Ottawa. He's not watching AHL hockey, but he knows because he produces this show. He hears a lot of AHL talk. Let's see where he goes. Pressure's on, Alex.
That's a fine answer. Alex going with Danilo Klimovich. Let's see what the voters went with.
That's who Alex wants to see for sure.
Let's see what the voters went with. 46% saying Linus Karlsson, 25% saying Danilo Klimovich, 20% saying Arshdeep Bains, 9% saying they are angry. Where did you vote for this one? Because I went in the minority here. Yep. I said Arshdeep Bains.
I like Arshdeep Bains too.
The Canucks have no centers that I'm excited about. None. Let me see Arshdeep Bains in a fourth line role. Give him some defensive matchups.
Read the words of the question. Which of these three AHLs would you like to see get 3 to 7 games? Not which one do you think we are like. Listen, if it's who is going to play out of these three for sure, it's Linus Karlsson. There's no competition. Like Karlsson is the guy who's closest to being, or maybe not closest, but like most deserving from his season so far. He's the next man up to get a go, right? Like he's the next man to get a go.
Plus, his contract situation says it will, right? He's 23. He's kind of going to have to get that tryout at some point here. Where Klimovic's got a couple more years.
Alex go.
Alex, yeah, look at this, eh? AHL guy Alex, I like it. No, I mean, and Alex is right. He's the oldest of the group, right? He's the guy who's played the most pro hockey. He's played over in Sweden. He's in his first year of the AHL now, and he's produced. He's come here and been as advertised. I'd say better. Like, I knew Linus Karlsson was going to come in here and score power play goals. I didn't think he was going to be as physical as he is at 5-on-5, as a guy who, listen, he's had a cage on for half the season because he's getting in battles all the time. And then as soon as the cage came off, next game, boom, he's bleeding everywhere. He's got cuts all over his face now. But he's banging. He could be a guy like, I thought for him to have success at the NHL level, he was going to have to be like really good offensively and be a top 6 player. He might be able to fit into a bottom 6 if he can play into that role. But the guy who I love for a bottom 6 role, it's Arshdeep Bains. Okay, this guy he's like, I'm pretty confident in saying this. He is the smartest on ice hockey player on that Abbotsford Canucks team. He understands not only where the puck is and where he should be, but where the puck is going and where he should be going to himself. Like, he really gets it. He is a smart player. You saw it in the I heard from his coach Sutter out there with Red Deer, right? And he told me, like, he's a smart player. He gets it. He works hard in practice. He's just so smart and understands the game. And when you hear that, you're like, oh, okay, like I get it. Like, he's making a lot of good plays. You can really see it at the AHL level. Like, making that adjustment from the dub to the AHL took like 5 to 10 games from him. And then he was just locked in, always in the right position, doing a really good job. And I think a lot of the success from Danila Klimovic this year is coming from Bains. Because Bains and Klimovic, they've been attached to the hip since Penticton. He's a smart player. He works hard. And he's one of these guys like Kyle Burrows who you throw a Canucks jersey on a local kid, they're going to go through a wall for you.
If you can turn Arshdeep Bains into like a Brandon Sutter or a Jay Beagle, these players that we complained about for years, that's a massive win for this organization.
Oh, local kids, man.
Local kid. And hang on a sec, Chris, because how long have we complained about the Canucks just loading up their bottom 6 with either overpaid veterans or young players that shouldn't even be in the position to play in the bottom 6 and try and do something they're not going to do, which is play a checking role or whatever? Let this guy be your defense first center, because you don't really have it right now. Like, Elias Pettersson's, no slouch when it comes to the defensive side of the game. You need him to score goals. Right? I want to see Arshdeep.
And here's the other thing, okay? The most likely scenario. So you look at these 3 players. You look at Arshdeep Bains, you look at Linus Karlsson, you look at Danila Klimovic. The highest potential for Karlsson is like top 6 player, right? Highest potential for Danila Klimovic, top 6 player, right? The highest potential for Bains is just like an NHL bottom 6 player. I'd bet he's got the most likely chance of hitting that potential. I think Klimovic has a lot of potential. He's just got a lot to work on. And still, over the past few weeks here, he's been struggling. He's been struggling quite a bit. But I think Arshdeep Bains, like, the potential for him is kind of there isn't a ceiling. He keeps pushing it up because his play has been so good. How often have we talked about the show over the years, right? Over the years of doing this show, over 4 years doing this show, which is crazy to say, but like, the jump from junior hockey to the AHL is massive. It's massive. God, you line up, you grab me a random WHL defenseman, anybody. I don't care if they're the best in the league or a middle or the worst in the league. Stand that guy up next to an NHL or an AHL defenseman. It's a man and a boy. That's how big these leagues are. The jump from CHL up into the A, it's massive. You're playing against boys, then you're playing against men. It is a huge jump. And Bains has not struggled with that jump at all. I tell you, he's been damn impressive. And I think he's one of these guys where, like I've said earlier, local kid, get him in a Canucks jersey. He loves it. He's playing for his team, for his city out there in Abbotsford. I bet he does the same when he gets to Vancouver one day. And I hope it's this season.
I agree. No disagreement from me there. Okay. I want to get this in. Wigs for Kids ahead of your prospects report. You know what? This is the prospects
coming
report.
Near the end here for Joey Pitt.
That's right. This is the prospects report brought to you by Wigs for Kids BC. The BCHL Surrey Eagles are proud to be partnered with Wigs for Kids BC and the BC Children's Hospital Foundation. Wigs for Kids BC provides funding to cover the cost of custom-made human hair wigs for children and teens at BC Children's who have suffered hair loss due to cancer treatment or other serious illnesses. Donations to Wigs for Kids BC also help families pay for medications and feeding supplies that are essential for treatment but not covered by their medical plan. When a child comes down with a serious illness like this, it takes an enormous toll on the entire family, both emotionally and financially. The assistance that Wigs for Kids BC provides makes the family's burden a little lighter so they can focus more of their time and energy on caring for their sick child. The Eagles play-by-play broadcaster.
Good guy out there, Joey Pitt.
Joey Pitt, who's got one heck of a head of hair, little tongue twister there, is trying to raise $15,000 for Wigs for Kids BC this year, culminating in him shaving his head at the end of the season, which is just around the corner, folks, and donating it to be made into a wig for a lucky kid in the province.
Lofty goal, but here's the thing in the end. You got to say this about Joey. The fact that he's committed to growing this hair is going to go on a child who needs it and is going to be very appreciative. I think what Joey's doing here is incredible stuff. So very happy to talk about that here on the show. The link is in the description if you want to donate. It's a great cause. Let's get that head of hair on a kid who deserves it. Love it. Good stuff from Joey.
All right.
And he caught me right in the mouth with that thing too.
Prospect Sport, let's go.
It's about 7. That's a good weight loss thing. He's going to lose a lot of weight when he takes that thing off.
That's true, actually, yeah.
Probably, right?
It's heavy.
Well,
you felt it against your face.
Yeah, well.
Okay, let's Prospect Sport.
Ooh, yeah, Lisa says Joey has a mane of gold, matches his heart of gold. Very much agree. And very well said, Lisa. Jeez. It's like a chapter of a book right there, it sounds like. Huh? What do you think?
I think you got to do your Prospect Sport.
What are you doing over there?
I'm trying to get clips ready for, doing your job, man. Doing your job.
My job.
That's right. Okay, let's go. Come on.
Well, I got stuff to do too. I'm getting clips ready for this actual segment here. You're looking too far ahead. All right. Lucas Purcell. Not yet, Alex. Hold on. That's my bad. I forgot. I should have told Alex that I got the goal first here. We got to watch the goal. Lucas Purcell scored today in the SHL. Another great goal from Lucas Purcell. We'll get to the interesting stat in a little bit, but let's talk about the goal again, because how often have I talked about this with Lucas Purcell? His goals, they come from the crease. He is a guy who goes to the net. He tips pucks. He gets in the dirty areas. He is a 19-year-old winger who is scoring at a ridiculous rate in the SHL. We really like what Lucas Purcell's doing. Okay. Now, yeah, there it is. Dreaming about what now? Lucas Purcell. Good stuff. Nice goal from him. Okay, now we can have the stat. Sorry, Alex. I jumped the gun here. This stat is interesting. Okay, quads? That's why I tweeted out. Interesting stat. So Lucas Purcell, you remember when he was called up to the SHL, right? Boxing Day. What were you doing?
December
Shopping for
26th,
freaking Legos. While I'm sitting here watching SHL hockey, you're in the Lego store. Buying roses or something.
Typewriter. How about the typewriter?
The typewriter, whatever it is. So since that day when he came up and got called up, no SHL player under the age of 27, not 20, 27. That's 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Every player up to the age of 27, nobody has more goals in the SHL than Lucas Purcell. Tell me that's impressive.
That is impressive.
Like that is very impressive. I'm trying to really give some boost to this, because this is an impressive stat. There is no player under the age of 27 who has scored more goals since Lucas Purcell has been called up. They got something with this kid. And when I talk to him, he talks a lot about, listen, his goal is to come to the NHL, but there's no rush. And the Canucks start to see stuff like this. Did they want to rush him over to the AHL? Maybe. He's got another year on his contract over there in the SHL, but there's a new transfer agreement, obviously, made between the NHL and AHL alongside with the SHL and Swedish hockey in general. You can get this kid over to the A if you want. I don't think it's going to be next season. I think he's going to go back to the SHL. He's going to play consistently throughout the season there in the SHL. Year after that, wouldn't shock me to see it at that point. So we'll see what happens with that one. And I'm getting in. I don't know if we want to do this today, because I think we're going to wait for the article to drop.
We're waiting.
Listen, I've been waiting, but I'll just say this. I'm back in my groove, watching draft prospects, drinking energy drinks. I'm excited. I forgot how much fun I have watching prospects for the draft. And we got a couple good ones to talk about here next little bit. I'll just quickly say this. David Reinbacher, love it. Right shot guy. And here's the other thing. I've been watching Axel Sandin Pellikka as well. Everyone's saying he's the top right D prospect. A lot of the scouting sites right now have him ranked higher. I just watched all of his games over the last 24 hours before or after the World Juniors. Not playing a lot of minutes in the SHL, so we'll see. And didn't look great. I was trying to make like a highlight tape of him, and as I'm going through, I said, "Geez, I think I have to make a low light tape too." So a lot of things. I got to look at his stuff earlier on in the season. I've seen bits and pieces here and there, but since the World Juniors, not a great showing for Axel Sandin Pellikka in the SHL. Not as much as David Reinbacher, who's looked excellent throughout the season. Not really had a dip like ASP has had. So we'll see what happens. I'll talk about these prospects a little more down the road as well.
Okay. Betway, let's go.
Before Betway, now that I'm looking at this episode, heck of an episode for me and my expertise, I think. AHL, lots of AHL today. I hope people have enjoyed it. We didn't spend much time on the NHL. Well, I feel like we kind of did with AHL ties.
I think it was a good episode.
Yeah, no, I think I think so. I've been having a good episode. I mean, got to talk about a lot of stuff. And now we're doing Betway.
Now you get to talk about Betway. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Viva Voca here. Let's get it going. Betway. I'm about to give it to you. Betway bets of the day. Over 6.5 total goals between the two teams tonight, and Quinn Hughes to put up a point. So there's a bet for the Canucks and Blues tonight. 5 o'clock puck drop tonight. You're getting home quick. You got stuff to do. I got stuff to do as well. Minus 120 for the bet there. A $10 bet's going to return you $18.33. That's if you have over 6.5 total goals between the two teams, and Quinn Hughes to put up at least a point in this one. Let's do it. Get to the big one. Boom. St. Louis Blues to win over 6.5 total goals in this game, and Jordan Kyrou as well as Elias Pettersson to both score in this game, plus 1,000. $10 bet. It's going to return you 110. You take yourself down to the Lego store. You get this typewriter is probably $400. You can, take a chunk off. It's like 25% off that typewriter probably.
Yeah.
What's the most expensive? Yep, Dominic got it.
What's the most expensive set?
What is I'm sure there's one from like the 80s that's like
no, not resale. I'll tell you when it first sold.
Today, like in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Do you know the most expensive Lego that's been like release price? I'm sure there's resale.
It is the Eiffel Tower that just came out. That one sells for $7.99, I believe.
$7.99. How many pieces is this thing?
That's over 10,000.
Really?
Yeah. But
how do you manage that? Do you have like a tub for each set, or like?
So you basically it comes in bags, right? And you build it bag by bag, and that just has a lot of bags. But the way you build it is it's basically like there's 4 kind of platforms, and you get a big platform piece that you build. But then there's 4 bases of the tower, and you just basically build those up, and then eventually they meet.
What if you miss a piece or something?
Then you have to restart
the whole thing.
Well, it depends how long it takes you to realize you missed a piece. You usually don't get that far because usually you can't keep building if you miss a piece.
What about the Star Wars stuff? That's got to be expensive. That's what I'm seeing.
Well, now, but yeah, I mean, when it all first came out, like the AT-AT is the one that I think that's $1,100. What am I saying? Yeah, that's the most expensive one, I think.
What's
the
that?
AT-AT?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Star Wars guy.
It's the giant. I'm not a big Star Wars guy. It's the big giant thing.
Big giant thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of these.
Did you finish Betway?
Yeah, I did finish Betway.
19 plus. If you
what about the Millennium Falcon?
Play responsibly. Yeah, that is a good one. Dominic got the word of the day as well.
He did.
But the Millennium Falcon, that is very cool.
There's I'm seeing this 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Antonia's Pizzarama.
Yeah, but you're looking at retired sets, right?
No, I am in 2012.
Which I've got a couple of.
You do. What's your most expensive one?
Nope, not saying
you don't
on the show.
Do it, eh?
Nope. I'll tell you about it.
I know, because that's the thing. You and all you folks over there at the here's the Taj Mahal. 59 or 5,923 pieces.
Yeah, retired though.
No, it's you can buy it on Amazon. 5,923 pieces, $599. That's a cool one.
That's not a new. Oh, it is a new set that released in
there.
2022.
This one too. I don't know how old you're supposed to be. You got to be 16 plus to play with this thing.
A lot of the ones I have are typewriter is 18 plus.
Once you're 10 plus, like what else? What are you learning in those 6 years that you didn't know already about Lego?
I don't know. It's like they make these adult sets so adults feel okay playing with Lego, basically.
Oh, I see how. Do you think if you tried to buy this at like I don't know where you buy Toys R Us,
Lego store,
do you think they would like you go in there and you're 14? They're like, hey, sorry, bud.
You don't get ID.
Sorry, bud, can't get you this this Taj Mahal thing.
No, because you could do it if you have parental guidance or supervision. I'll tell you what though, that typewriter, it was very hard, and I thought maybe I should wait a couple of years before I even try building this at 22. Okay, we'll close it out there. Thanks for asking me about Lego. I never get to talk about it on the show. For my co-host Chris Faber and our technical
tomorrow
producer,
we'll ask you about the dog. That'll be another 40 minutes.
Right. And our technical producer, Alex Lard. My name is David Quadrelli. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Canucks Conversation.
Almost slipped it up. Slipping it around.
Thanks for listening to Canucks Conversation. Hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode.
How about keep it to a